Hi. Every time I start painting, I always complain about how thin the paint is. Every time I watch videos of other people painting with acrylic paint, it always lays like oil paint. I don't understand what's the difference between my paint and their paint, but I suspect it's all about my skill. So with this painting, I'm going to try to paint like a normal person with normal acrylic paints and make zero excuse. Okay, let's paint. Are you that person who wanted to be an artist, started painting, and then you realize that career of an artist would not actually fit you and you need to give up on that idea, move on to something more profitable, and then get back to art as a hobby? And I'm pretty sure at that moment you thought that you will be so excellent at your hobby. Sure, you were painting for a very long time before you took a 7-year break. Then after finishing your university degree, getting a job, working for 2 years, and suddenly realizing that you finally got enough money in your bank account to finally purchase the supplies. You got the supplies and finally got back to painting. And as soon as you started painting, you realized that somebody changed your hands. Like, dude, they don't work. Are those my hands? I have seen my own drawings. They were so nice. I was a fan of my own art. At that point, it did not seem that nice. But now, after 7 years, I look at them and damn, I was talented. Well, now something changed. It turns out you cannot just take a break from art. You have to paint and draw constantly. So yes, I was very, very depressed, but persistency is part of my character. That's why this channel is still updated and it will keep on being updated. I am not going away. I am persistent. So I made one painting. I liked the idea. The execution was not very nice. I did another painting. The execution was still But this time I decided I'm gonna be just free. No expectations. We're gonna just paint a fun piece. Nothing serious. There is not gonna be any justice war happen. There is not gonna be any public announcement, no awareness piece, nothing. This piece is literally just a person trying to steal grapes. But there's a twist. If that person would be possessed by a cat. You may think either isolation is getting to me or I am slowly getting to be a cat lady. Both could be true. As I have already mentioned, the main challenge of this painting was to keep my paint nice and thick. As you have seen in the very first minutes. Damn, that paint was really thick. I was impressed by myself. For the first time, I finally realized, dude, I did not need to put so much water in the paint. Yes, you can just put your brush in the paint and just paint with it. Who would have thought that the secret was so simple? But that's literally is the secret. So for anybody who has your acrylic paint very watery, do not put water. Works like magic. I'm not gonna lie, for the first 3 hours, I was very, very disappointed. I thought that I am painting something really offensive. That skin color was very, very bad, and I was already planning an uncalled for public apology, saying that, guys, I just do not know how to paint, really. But as you will see later, it's gonna be just fine. What I was amazed of, why did I decide to paint a hand? If you would see all my previous paintings, hands are not my thing. I do not know how to paint hands. People who know how to paint hands would look at me painting and cringe very hard. And I understand you. I'm cringing as well. But bear with me, I have to fail many times before I get it right, which probably will never happen. But as you remember, I am persistent. So you will probably see hands in many of my paintings. That's gonna be my thing, bad hands. Is that ideal technique-wise? Probably not. But I decided to learn how to appreciate the paintings that I do by just what they are. We don't need to compare face of the painting with face of real person. That's not what we are going for with art. What are we going for with art? I have no idea. But we need to see art for what it is, not for what you think it's supposed to be. That's, I think, why many people are getting discouraged with art, because you first plan to see something in your painting, and after finishing the piece, you see something different. And I know it sucks, but we need to start looking at the art that we create for what it turned out to be and just appreciate it. That's just how the art happened to be, how it wanted to be nurtured and made, and finished, whatever you put into it, that's what we are gonna see. At least that is how I started to look at it. And I think that's actually what helps me paint, you know, not even just finish things, but like even actually starting. For some reason, I usually hate everything I do. All the paintings I make is just so terrible. But I honestly dig this one. I think it's really good. I mean, I think it's good, so I like it. So I think I'm in a place to give an advice. And my advice is, if I can do it, like in my own shit, you can do it too. I swear. I'm usually the person who gets everything last. I'm not kidding. So I'm not sure, did I mention that this is not a tutorial? So I'm sorry if you thought I will teach you how to paint this thing. I also don't know how to paint this painting, because if I were to do it again, I would not make it the same. You know, there was a moment when I suddenly realized that the composition of the painting looked very, very unbalanced because of that line that I added. Even though like in the whole painting, this line kind of makes sense, but in the moment with this dish, the thickness of the dish and the thickness of two lines below it, they are visually almost the same. And it looks very weird and unbalanced. They are the same, and that's why they look very intentional. So that was a really the artistic moment when I had to make a call. Should I fill that place with a mask, or I should leave it as it is? And that was an artistic call that I really appreciate myself for making, because I do not know how it looks from your side. From my side, that was the bravest thing I have done in the last few years. And I have done some brave shit. So I painted a mandarin and an orange that covered these two lines. And I think that was pretty genius. Here we go. I wonder what kind of magic is that. Usually it takes about a month for me to finish a painting, because I paint only on weekends, only one day, and only 3 hours. And this was finished in 2 days, because I was painting for many hours every day. Well, now for me, there is no excuse to ever not finish a painting in 2 days. I do not know if it's my self-portrait, but I was using the picture of me as a reference. You probably think that I spent too much time indoors, but that idea was born before coronavirus was even a thing. It seems it's time for me to clean the brushes, get back to the kitchen, and hopefully run for groceries, because everything closes at 7 during the quarantine. I don't think it's not finished. I think it's done. Okay, goodbye. Subscribe.